You feel it, don't you? Something building, something in the atmosphere of your life that has a different weight than usual, like the air before a storm, but without the dread, more like anticipation, the specific kind that sits in your chest and doesn't have a clear source but won't go away either. That's not your imagination. Something is coming. And I don't mean that in the vague, keep your chin up kind of way that means nothing. I mean, something is literally in motion right now in the invisible architecture of your life, and it is heading toward a moment, a specific, undeniable, nothing is the same after this moment. And the closer I get to your energy, the more I feel the scale of it. This isn't a small shift, this is a finale. Let me start with what I keep noticing when I sit with this energy, because the first thing that hit me wasn't excitement, wasn't celebration. It was actually something quieter than that, something almost solemn, the kind of feeling that shows up right before something enormous, like the second before an orchestra hits its final note, that held breath, that suspended moment where everything is about to land. That's the quality of what's surrounding you right now. And the more I sit with it, the more I feel the weight of what has been building to produce this moment. Because finales don't arrive from nowhere, they're the result of everything that came before them. Every scene, every act, every difficult chapter that felt like it was going nowhere but was actually moving the whole story toward this exact point. Your difficult chapters, I feel them in your energy, not with sadness, with something more like respect, because what you've been through to get here wasn't small. Some of it was genuinely hard in ways that most people around you probably didn't fully understand. Hard in the quiet, private, nobody sees this part kind of way that doesn't get acknowledged because it doesn't have a visible form. You just carried it day after day without a lot of external confirmation that the carrying was leading anywhere worth going. Tell me if that lands, because I feel that very specifically and I want to know if you recognize it. Now, the show. I chose that word carefully because it's what keeps surfacing when I sit with this energy. Not a reward, not a blessing in the ordinary sense, a show. Something dramatic enough that even you, the person it's happening to, is going to be caught off guard by the scale of it. There are things about to move in your life simultaneously that have not been moving, things that have been stuck, situations that have been sitting in a holding pattern for longer than made sense, answers that have been delayed past the point where you stopped actively waiting for them and just filed them under probably not happening. Those things are about to move all at once, not sequentially in the polite, manageable way where one good thing arrives and you integrate it before the next one comes. All at once. In the compressed, overwhelming, where do I even look kind of way that happens when the universe decides it's time to stop being incremental. And the reason it's happening all at once, the reason the timing is now and not spread across the next several months in smaller, more digestible portions, is because the finale requires the full orchestra, not one instrument at a time, everything together, the full sound. What does that mean practically? It means the financial shift and the relational breakthrough and the professional recognition and the personal revelation are not arriving on separate schedules. They're arriving together in the same window, creating an effect that none of them could create individually, an effect that is going to make you stop in the middle of your ordinary day and just feel the weight of it. Feel the significance of being exactly where you are at exactly this moment. Give me a second because something specific just surfaced and I don't want to rush past it. There's a person connected to this finale. And what I feel about them is interesting because at first I thought this was going to be a straightforward, this person is coming back kind of energy. But the longer I sit with it, the more I realize it's more specific than that. It's not just that someone is returning or showing up or making a move, it's that someone is about to be forced into honesty, forced by circumstances rather than by choice, forced by the shift in your energy and what it does to the dynamic between you. Because something about who you're becoming, something about the version of you that is walking into this finale makes a certain kind of hiding impossible for the people around you, makes the old arrangements untenable, makes the comfortable distances feel suddenly unbearable to maintain. And this person, they've been maintaining a distance or a silence or a version of things that serves them but doesn't fully honor what's true between you. And the finale that's coming for you is also, whether they planned it or not, a finale for that arrangement. The thing they've been maintaining is not going to survive contact with this new chapter of your life. It simply doesn't fit anymore. What happens when it doesn't fit anymore? They have to make a decision, a real one, about what they actually want, about whether they're willing to show up in the way this new version of things requires, about whether the feelings they've been managing quietly are feelings they're ready to bring into the open. I feel the answer to that is yes. But the yes is terrifying them, and the terrified yes moving toward a real decision that's part of the show. That's one of the acts in the finale that's coming. Let me talk about what you're going to feel when this starts, because I want you to be ready for the specific quality of it rather than the general idea of it. The first thing is going to be disorientation. Not bad disorientation, the kind that comes when your nervous system encounters something it wasn't calibrated for. When something good arrives at a scale that exceeds what you've been expecting life to offer. When the baseline you'd quietly settled into as a realistic picture of what's available turns out to be catastrophically undersized for what's actually coming. Your baseline is wrong in the best possible way. What you've been accepting as a realistic ceiling for this season of your life is nowhere near the actual ceiling. And the finale that's coming is going to show you that, not gently, in the way that only experience can show you something, by simply delivering something so much larger than your ceiling that the ceiling becomes irrelevant. That moment of disorientation is actually sacred. It's the moment your understanding of your own life gets upgraded in real time, and it's uncomfortable because expansions always are. Because your nervous system has to catch up to a new reality it wasn't prepared for, and in the catching up there's a kind of vertigo. Where am I standing now? What is this? Is this actually real quality that is going to require you to breathe through it rather than immediately analyzing it into something manageable? Breathe through it. Let it be bigger than what you're comfortable with. Let the disorientation tell you something rather than rushing to eliminate it. Because the scale of the disorientation is information about the scale of what's arrived. There's something I feel I've been circling around, and I want to just say it directly now. You've been faithful in the specific, quiet, nobody gave you a medal for it kind of way. Faithful to something you couldn't see clearly. Faithful to a version of your life that existed only as a feeling, an instinct, a stubborn refusal to fully accept that this is all there is. Faithful in the moments when faithfulness felt indistinguishable from delusion. When the gap between what you believed was possible and what your current reality showed you was wide enough that continuing to believe required something genuinely costly. And you continued anyway. That faithfulness. I want to tell you something about it that I feel very specifically. It wasn't wasted. Not a single day of it. Not a single moment of choosing to keep going when stopping was the easier and more logical option. Not a single instance of maintaining your integrity when compromising it would have been faster and less painful. All of it has been tracked. All of it has been part of the preparation for exactly this, for a finale that requires someone who has been through what you've been through and arrived on the other side, still oriented towards something good. The show that's coming needs a worthy audience, someone who can actually receive what's being delivered, who has developed the capacity through everything they've endured to hold something this significant without immediately deflecting it or minimizing it or talking themselves out of deserving it. You are that person. You've been becoming that person this whole time. And the finale is arriving now because the becoming is complete enough, because you are ready enough, because the person you needed to be to receive this fully is who you are right now. Let me get specific about the professional and financial dimension of this because I feel it strongly and I don't want to leave it at the level of abstraction. Something has been moving behind the scenes in the parts of your professional reality that you don't have full visibility into. Decisions being made, conversations happening, someone or something evaluating what you've been building or producing or demonstrating over a sustained period of time. And the evaluation, I feel the conclusion of it coming, and the conclusion is favorable, very favorable. In the specific, this changes the material circumstances of your life kind of way rather than the nice acknowledgement that doesn't actually change anything kind of way. Something is coming that has financial weight to it, real weight, the kind that creates new options, new possibilities, new versions of your daily life that weren't available before. And the timing of it landing in this particular window alongside everything else that's converging is not coincidental. It's the universe being deliberately, almost theatrically generous, stacking things, layering them, creating a finale that hits from multiple directions at once so that the cumulative effect is undeniable. You're going to feel abundant in the real, not just spiritual, I can feel this in the practical reality of my life kind of way. And that feeling of abundance after everything that has been tight or limited or not quite enough is going to produce something in you that I think you haven't felt in a while. Relief, deep, complete, finally, relief. One more thing, because it keeps surfacing and I don't think this reading is complete without it. The show that's coming is not just for you. I mean, it's for you entirely, but it's also visible. Other people are going to witness what happens in your life in this season. And what they witness is going to be undeniable in a way that changes certain dynamics. Certain people who have underestimated you are going to have to reckon with that underestimation publicly. Certain narratives that were built around a limited version of who you are and what you're capable of are going to collapse in the face of what's coming. You don't have to do anything to make that happen. You don't have to prove anything or correct anyone or position yourself strategically. The show takes care of that. Just live it. Just show up as yourself fully without the apologizing and the shrinking and the careful management of how much of yourself you let be visible. Just show up fully and let what's coming do what it does. Because what it does is make the truth of who you are impossible to ignore for anyone. including yourself. This is your moment. Not someday, not eventually. This season, this chapter that is already opening around you, whether you can feel all of it yet or not, the finale is incoming. The show is about to start. And Virgo, it was written for you. Every single act of it